residents care a lot about energy actually. There's a lot of people that are interested in energy as a topic. They have sort of turned their consumption in environmentally relevant, so that they are aware that their behavior is environmentally relevant. Netherlands is one of the most, let's say, environmentally aware countries. A lot of people care. A lot of people vote for green political parties, for example. So these there is more sort of tolerance and towards policies that focus on residential behavior. But it's true that government policy focuses preferably on other things because it's hard to negotiate with households because it's about their daily life. It's something you don't want to be intervening. Whereas industry treats it also. Energy is, of course, an economic value, but households see it as something that always has to be there. It is a facilitator. It's not something that you want to trade. You don't want to trade comfort for money. You want to be comfortable and you want to have money if you can. So I can only explain to you why it is not something that a lot of governments focus on, but I don't have any concrete suggestions as to how governments could, how we could try to get governments to be more proactive in policy. Yes.
I think one thing that's is about social makings.
Yeah.
So take changes in household level, do something good for the community.
Yeah.
Something make everyone happy.
Yeah.
It's not what government can really directly introduce. It's something that has to encourage.
Yeah.
Do it together with your neighbors. So,
Exactly. Yeah. What we see, the Netherlands has 400 to 500 energy collectives or initiatives. So these are citizens, oftentimes 50 plus years old or so, who have a little bit more time on their hands. They are very interested in energy. They want to do something with it, and they collectively buy power solar panels, for example. But with these smart innovations, you can do a lot more. So you can save energy together, for example. You have insight into what everyone conserves. And when you pool that money together, you say, for example, this month, we're all going to switch off our televisions more. And the money that we save, if we can somehow calculate it, we're going to invest in a park for our children in our neighborhood. So this smart grid can offer a lot of new sort of social tools as well that improve the cohesion in the area. But this is the green picture again. So there is a pilot which now seems to say that this is a little bit maybe too much fantasy, maybe too far from reality, because a lot of people who are part of energy collectives, they just want to buy a cheap solar panel, and then they don't really care much more. So one pilot project developed this really fancy internet online platform in which all these interactions are possible, but they don't check it. It's a problem. So it's a fantasy. Maybe it's also a long-term cultural change. Yeah.
Can I have one more question? How about any research to look at user pays principle applied to both domestic, where Devin just said, and also the commercial industrial sector in society, that there's say using energy tax. So with the tax to put in, that government give this incentive for energy user, then you use more, pay the tax more, and use that money collected for a kind of subsidy for people in society, say if they buy the renewable energy appliances or other, energy-related, energy efficient stuff, they can get the subsidy. Would this be, from the policy angles, such a way to help change the habits, practices?
I'm not an expert on these kind of things, but I definitely believe that this is sort of a very valuable way to change the incentive structure. But general problems with these kind of interventions, that they have a lot of unintentional distributional effects. So there is already progressive taxes in place for energy. But if you have real-time pricing, for example, the idea is that this will disproportionately benefit maybe middle income or higher income people. So if you want to have different energy taxes that maybe reflect more what's actually happening, what it actually costs energy, then it has to be very thoroughly tested and very politically evaluated as well, what the consequences of it are. So there's a lot of ideas about energy taxes. A lot of ideas have also been implemented or have fallen in Parliament because they didn't pass in Denmark, in the UK, because of the potential distributional effect. So, I mean, as a practice theorist, I would say yes, these are great tools to sort of change and steer people's behaviors, but they also have to be very thoroughly evaluated.
So you mentioned something about how to utilize or present information in more
Yes.
attractive way and are there any good practice in that aspect?
Yeah. I can say something on that. Other universities than my own do a lot of studies, and what they do is they take a neighborhood and they put these energy displays in there, and they give them different designs, and they see how many people use them. I mean, they can monitor when people's fingers touch the screen, so they can see when people use it. So what they see is that you have to present the information on the first screen. So people don't want to click to see things. They want to see on the very first screen, am I doing a good thing, am I doing a bad thing? So they want to see something green or they want to see something red. They want to see a happy tree, they want to see a sad tree, something like this. And also, a lot of people use it when they can also check it for the weather. So these are tricks that you can use. And you have to put it somewhere near where they oftentimes come. For example, the door to the hallway. So when people go outside, they can check it before they go, because they also have to switch on their electricity. Or when they go upstairs to go to bed, oftentimes people will check it. So you have to fit it into the regimes, into the rhythms of people's daily life. And then there's a bigger chance of success. Another important thing is that you have some physical reminder in the house. So if you just rely on apps or online platforms, then people are less likely to use them because they're not reminded. But if you have a physical display hanging next to your kitchen or whatever, then people will check it more. So these are some general rules that we found now, but in terms of specific displays, I mean, this is a very emerging market. There's a lot of companies now offering these energy displays in the Netherlands. And some of them are very successful, some of them completely fail because they just say you're consuming this many kilowatt hours and people don't understand what it means unless you're really like an expert.
Some companies are doing this much better.
Some of the companies do it better than others, yes. And they sell them for good prices. Oftentimes they use it to lure people to switch energy contracts. So in January, in December, people can switch to a different energy contract. And there was a time last year, every single TV commercial break will have at least one or two energy companies advertising their new energy device. If you switch over, you can get our free energy device, you can see what you're consuming, you can, etc. And these are quite popular.
Because no way cannot switch.
Yeah.
There's no switch.
No way to switch.
Yeah.
Well, not good.
Please join me to thank Wagningen for bringing a very interesting and inspiring discussion to us. Thanks very much for coming to this seminar, and let me thank you once again for your participation and sharing. And thanks Wagningen again.
Thank you.
And we have to thank our supporting organization once again to make things happen. So our civic exchange will offer my friends up here. Thanks for the support. Okay, thank you.